Hello and welcome to Xbox On. Bex and Benny here, and we have some huge news that's just gone live about the Xbox Series X. Jason Ronald, Director of Program Management and all-round big cheese on Xbox Series X, has written a post talking about backwards compatibility and how it's going to work on the next gen.
Obviously, we're all very excited by all of the new games coming to Series X, and there are thousands of developers working on next-gen games right now. But it's also important to maintain our gaming history too, both for our own personal memories and for preserving these games so they can be played by future generations of gamers. So you probably know by now that backward compatibility is going to be a big deal for Xbox Series X, with 4 generations of Xbox games available to play and all your current Xbox One accessories and peripherals able to make the leap too. But this post drives home just how important it is. As the man himself says, our goal has always been to empower gamers to play the best versions of games from across 4 generations of Xbox at the launch of Xbox Series X. These principles were key to us from day one and influenced many of our design decisions as we started on our journey to create our most powerful and compatible console ever. Which is pretty cool, but even more exciting is what the post reveals about the ways that your old games could play better than ever before on Xbox Series X.
But first, a little bit of history. Backwards compatibility on the Xbox One was first announced at E3 in 2015, and since then, over 500 Xbox 360 games have been made compatible with Xbox One, as well as some old favourites from the original Xbox too. For me, one of my first favourite games was SSX3, a snowboarding game on the original Xbox, and thanks to backwards compatibility, I can still play it to this day on my Xbox One. Because of the way that developers optimize their games to the specific hardware of a console, this is a lot more work than it might sound at first. So the Series X had to be built from the ground up with back compat in mind, affecting everything from the custom processor to the operating system. And thanks to this, it really is the most compatible console ever. From 500 plus on Xbox One, the number of games that are already playable on Xbox Series X right now is in the thousands, ranging from big blockbusters to cult classics. Yep, it's a pretty big leap forward. The team behind Backcompat have spent more than 100,000 hours playtesting games to make sure they run perfectly on Series X. And that figure is only going to double by launch. Over 200,000 hours, all to make sure your game collection is ready for you to jump in immediately when you get that box home.
And not only can you play all of these games from the past, they'll run better than ever before. We'll hand back over to Jason at this point. Backwards compatible games run natively on the Xbox Series X hardware, running with the full power of the CPU, GPU, and the SSD. No boost mode, no downclocking, the full power of the Xbox Series X for each and every backward compatible game. This means all games will run at peak performance, and often even better than on the original console. And because Series X is the first Xbox console to use SSD storage, you can expect to see some massive reductions in loading times. And they'll even support the brand new Quick Resume feature, which lets you suspend and instantly jump back into multiple games. And here's the really exciting bit. The compatibility team have invented entirely new techniques that let them enhance certain games well beyond what was technologically possible when they were created. This means some games will be able to render in 4K for the very first time. This, along with anisotropic filtering, will ensure the final image quality is up to modern standards. And when it comes to frame rate, these innovations make it possible to double the frame rate of a game that it originally ran in, from 30 FPS to 60 FPS, or from 60 FPS all the way to 120 frames per second. All of this special treatment will be applied to a curated selection of titles to make sure the very best games get the very best presentation.
There's another very cool way that Xbox Series X will be able to revitalize backcompat games to new heights as well. A HDR reconstruction technique, which makes it possible to add HDR support to games that previously didn't have it, even as far back as games on the original Xbox, developed way before HDR even existed. This is all handled automatically by the console itself, with zero impact to the game's performance and no extra work needed by developers.
The Xbox Series X news is coming thick and fast now, so to get all the latest updates as they happen, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Which games are you most excited to see running on the Xbox Series X? Make sure to let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you next time.